live already? Are you going to be listening just to make sure the sound's okay? Yeah. Testing, testing. Yeah. Good afternoon and welcome to the ECU Football Stadium in Joondalup for a massive game in the final round of the regular season. It's ECU Joondalup playing host to Sorrento FC in a Northern derby in a game with both title and top 4 cup implications to bring to an end a truncated but exciting NPL1U season. Great to have your company with us here this afternoon, live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook page. My name's Tommy Dolman and I'll be bringing you today's action, one of 6 men's NPL1U matches to close out the league component of the season. I'll have you covered here in the northern suburbs, while elsewhere we have Sean Fry on duty at Floria and Coburn, a day with no doubt plenty of twists and turns to come. ECU know they must win today if they are to win a second league title and their first since 1999. They trail Florida Athena by 2 points going into today's game, so require a slip up from Athena if they are to remain in contention for league honours. Another subplot to this game is the battle for the Golden Boot, with Danny Hodgson and Sorrento's leading man Cameron Teese both on 15 goals going into today's game. The goals will need their leading man Teese to be on form against his former club today if they are to keep their outside chances of post-season football alive. Stranger things have happened, but Sorrento will need to win, hope results go their way elsewhere, and overturn 8 goals on current third-place side Coburn. For ECU, they just have to do the business here and hope that Coburn can take some points at Eardie Leiter Stadium. Two captains, Sean Kilkelly and Johnny Perkins, shake hands with the referees. The refereeing team this afternoon, very experienced official in David Bruce, will be holding the whistle in the middle, apologies. And he'll be assisted by Stephen Knight, another experienced referee, and Jess Bird as well, an official that's done wonderful things, in particular in the women's game in 2020. Tremendous goal last night, by the way, in the NPL1U. In case you didn't see it, Katarina Jukic with a wonderful Rabona. Get yourselves on the socials to check that one out if you haven't already. As we get into position for this afternoon's game, here we are, the final round of what's been a different but enjoyable season. We've been pretty lucky to have football here in the West this season, and to cap it off, we've got a potentially exciting final day of drama still to come. Results elsewhere will dictate the mood of the afternoon and its subsequent rewards potentially, but don't sleep on the bragging rights at stake here between these two northern rivals. It's round 16 action, the final round of this NPL1U season, and we're underway at the ECU campus. ECU wearing their home strip, the red shirts and the white shorts this afternoon, and Sorrento wearing her home kit as well, the sky blue shirts, the slightly darker shorts as well. ECU will be kicking from the right to the left of your stream in this first half. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages this afternoon. We'll do our best to bring you up to date with events elsewhere as the afternoon pans out. As Ethan Brooks and Luke Bodner try to sort things out in the corner. Opportunity for Sorrento, early on, and it was Amir Ayan with a strike from distance. Sounding a little bit of a warning to ECU as they try to play out from the back in that corner. Kenny Lowe's team have played wonderful passing, attacking football this season. They do have the third best attack, the second best attack, apologies, and the third best defence in the division, so they really have been a well-oiled machine this season. Of course, they've been in pretty good form in general overall. They won 5 games in a row in the middle part of the season to really propel their hopes of glory in season 2020. As Brooks picks up, looks back for Bodner. Now Sammy Riak. Ball may break the way of Callum Timmins. It does. Riak trying to hold off Alex Morgan, turning on halfway, looking wide for Riley Warland. Cut out, though, by Jordan Brown, but ECU are tenacious. They win possession back. Timmins looks to slip in Hodgson down this left-hand side, who'll want to get back onto that preferred right foot. 2 hat-tricks in the second phase of the competition for Danny Hodgson. Now Riak, crossfield ball, will look to release Brooks in behind. Digs out the cross pretty well, though, and Faciony has to hook behind for a corner. Good opportunity for the home side early on here. Inside the first 5 minutes after that early warning was sounded by the visitors. First corner of the afternoon, swung in by Higgins. Wallen nearly got his head to it, and Ayan, under the follow-up pressure from Higgins, puts out for a throw over to the car park. Beautiful afternoon here in the northern suburbs for this northern derby. Barely a cloud in the sky and pretty much perfect conditions for football, really. Slight breeze, but nothing that's really giving any team an advantage of any note. Brooks and Higgins try to link up over on that far side. Now Sorrento will look to counter. It is, of course, very improbable that Sorrento do qualify for the top 4 cup next weekend. Or midweek, should I say, with the semi-finals taking part during the week. They need a trio of results to go their way in the division this afternoon, and they also need to make up some goal difference as well, which is going to be hard against the league's second best defence, as discussed earlier, as Cassidy retreats inboard to Bodner. Timmins tries to turn, pinched by Scott Wish, who drives down this right-hand side, tries to dig out the cross, and skipper Johnny Perkins shouts loudly. Claims that ball with real authority. Irish goalkeeper who's been a super consistent figure in between the sticks for ECU over the years. On board forward, picks up Hodgson. Last touch was off the Englishman and out for a goal kick. As we touched in the preview, both Hodgson and Cameron Teese on 15 goals this season in the NPL1U. Angel Andres of Armidale on 12 goals just behind him. Would need to be a remarkable haul of goals for Andres to get involved in the Golden Boot race over at Joondalup this afternoon in the upper tiers final game. Teese and Hodgson both locked on the 15, as we said today, and Golden Boot, of course, only takes a league season into account, so this will be it in terms of those two players who have both had truly outstanding seasons. Hodgson in particular with hat-tricks against Armidale and Coburn in the second phase of the competition so far. As Higgins looks up, Breeze actually took that cross away from Warland a little bit, much to the fullback's surprise. Tim Hill, switch of the play, looks to release Teese. He got his head to the ball, and it ricochets off the post. Flag didn't go up on this near side. And I think many of the home fans and the ECU defence expected Jess Bird's flag to go up, but flag stayed down, and off the bottom of the post it bounced. Closest we've come to a goal inside these early stages, as Cassidy shows good strength to muscle Witch off the ball. Another player like Perkins, who joined ECU Joondalup from Stirling Lions. Also the last 3 years here, played in every game bar one in season 2020. Here he is again, heading down for Riak. Now Timmins. Warland will look for Hodgson up the line. Lovely football from ECU playing out of the back here, and Timmins is driving forward. He's got Higgins, and now Brooks arriving to his right. Brooks took on the first time shot, and he had Hodgson and Evans arriving in the middle, and possibly looking up would have been a better option. Foul goes against Sorrento's check midfield. Jakub Praja there. Kenny's low side will get a free kick on halfway. He's done a really good job with this team as Kenny Lowe. His first full season in charge of ECU Joondalup. As the ball comes forward, Brown gets his head to it, and for a second time this afternoon, a long ball forward has come off a Sorrento head and nearly hit the target. Something for the home side to keep an eye on. Which is showing interest in that one again, but this time it'll run all the way through to Perkins. Very much Perth Glory links on the coaching benches this afternoon. Spoke about Kenny Lowe just before, those 5 years in charge of the Perth Glory. Also Socceroos assistant for a spell as well, you may remember. Jamie Harnwell, of course, 256 games with the Glory, two-time NSL winner and 7th season coaching the club. Ball over the top again, Cassidy's head down, Riak looks up, spots Higgins. ECU looking to play through the centre of the pitch again. Nice flick from Timmins, nearly came off. And then Brown heads down. ECU will try and stay on the front foot. Warland can't beat his man, but Cassidy's got plenty of time to regain the ball here. Beautiful sunshine here at ECU Joondalup, and a really good crowd in here as well, as you'd expect. ECU know that a first league title since 1999 could be possible. Should Floriat drop points elsewhere as Perkins goes long. Brown will head back forward. Wallen's got an age of time here to turn back on the ball and move upfield. It's the feet of Timmins, who's been very lively early, and he was fouled a little late by Hill. Patient play from home side at the back. Just waiting to probe and look for the opportunities. Now Howe will receive the ball in midfield. This one for Timmins, who's in space once more. Sorrento, seem to be happy to let the former Perth Glory Academy player have plenty of space deep. As Perkins clears upfield. Morgan tries a volley from distance, and that may have been creeping in. Sorrento definitely sounding out the warnings early on, and which is now pressuring Perkins. Sliding in late was the Sorrento winger. Probably a little desperate, if not unnecessary, on that occasion from Scott Witch, former Inglewood winger. It's the 2 goals this season, both of them actually coming against Armidale. Hill. Back for Kilkelly. Another really experienced campaigner is Sean Kilkelly. He's basically been a part of the goal setup since the NPL1U era began in 2014. He played in plenty of these northern derbies over the years. As Praja looks up, he's got player wide to his left in Ayan, who'll looks to just clip into Teese, headed away easily enough by Bodner, and now ECU will look to get the counter-attack going as Evans plays back for Brooks. Been a really nice, crisp tempo to this one. Both teams passing the ball around pretty well. Sorrento, who fired off all the early shots, though, in these early stages. Cassidy. Now Timmins. Turning. Nice ball for Brooks there. If that stays in play, it does. Now Brooks is one-on-one with Ayan over on that far side. He'll want to get onto that right foot. Might yet come back for Higgins. Brooks now with time to cross. Whipped in dangerously. Header was cleared by Kilkelly. Warland will bring under control. ECU to stay on the front foot for the time being. Higgins slips in Brooks again. Cross towards the penalty spot. Again Kilkelly hooks away, and Praja tries to roll away from Higgins, and the ECU Joondalup man concedes the foul. Joel Driscoll to punt the ball forward. Header came off Cassidy, and luckily for ECU, Perkins was off his line smartly to gather. As Warland drives forward, looks up the line for Hodgson. Doing really well back there is Ryan McLaughlin, and goalsman wins the goal kick. As we said before, it's been such a good season for the home side. 2 wins in their first 3 games. And then they lost 3 in a row just before the middle part of the season. 1-1 draw with Bayswater seemingly turned things around as they went on to win those 5 straight games from then on in. Really launched themselves into contention this season. A form a little bit mixed in this second phase, but still right in it going into the final day. A remarkable achievement given where they came from last year, finishing 11th, just the 23 points and 8 points behind today's opponents in 2019. 10 points off that top 4 as well, so Kenny Lowe's done a wonderful job. It may still be time for tangible reward to be dished out as a result. Kilkelly goes forward. Teese chest down. Little 1-2 with a header with Morgan. Teese will bundle his way into the area. Strike from Ayan. It'll break for Morgan, who doesn't quite catch the shot, and Perkins is down low saving. Sorrento really coming out with that attacking intent. Well, I suppose they had to. A little bit of the end of season feel, but also a situation where they have to win the game by a big margin. Teese, a good source of goals, drives his way into the area, wins the corner off Warland. And this will be visitors' first opportunity of the afternoon to swing something into the middle towards that penalty spot. Got Alex Morgan on the goalkeeper, Kilkelly and Brown arriving forward from the back. 6 in the box in total for the goals, as Praja's outswinger was weak into the near post. I think the ball actually moved on the corner spot there as it was taken by Jakub Praja. Hence why the corner possibly wasn't caught as well as we know he can. Now Jordan Brown will try and launch a long throw here. He's not really got much room to manoeuvre, but still throws it in pretty well. Riak heads away. Forward again by Hill. Teese tries to bring it down. Good battle with Warland. Timmins hooks away, and now Higgins is on the counter attack here, but he did need to wait for support, unfortunately, and that fast movement. Outfield was stalled for the time being. Hill's ball forward. That one was definitely caught by the breeze and sailed into the hands of Perkins. These two teams have met already this season at this venue. A 6-1 win that afternoon to ECU. 2 for Hodgson and 2 for Ben Hinshelwood. The visitors have definitely come out with good intent though. Possibly, no doubt, still smarting from that Northern defeat. Been a really good matchup between these sides over the years though. In the past 4 seasons, ECU 3 wins, Sorrento 3 wins, and the 1 draw in those 7 meetings. Still unaware of action at ED Leiter Stadium. We'll try and bring you news of that when we can get a break in play as Timmins looks up, rolls around Hill. Still going is Callum Timmins and slipping through for Higgins. He's been at the club a long time, Andy Higgins. And he's put the Northerners into a really good position here to put the pressure on Florian. ECU Joondalup 1, Sorrento FC 0. So ECU Joondalup 1, Sorrento FC 0. Goal scored by Andy Higgins on that sweet left foot. Just past the quarter hour mark, I can tell you that around the grounds it's Floriat 0, Coburn 0, and that if results stand as they are, ECU will be lifting the trophy this afternoon. Still plenty of time left though in this afternoon's final day. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages this afternoon. Tommy Dolwyn on the call with you here at the ECU football stadium. To attack there as well. The ECU Joondalup. Through by Howe. Hodgson has drifted to the right hand side. We'll leave this throw into Brooks. Cassidy. There's Bodner. Hodgson. Switch the play for Warland. Plenty of space to attack into. Does Riley Warland. He'll clip the cross in. Header was from Evans and was on target. Straight at Driscoll, but good header nevertheless. And now the early release is looking for Teese, and look how high that ball bounced off the pitch here. Teese would have needed a stepladder to compete for that ball. Cassidy looks up, no challenge forthcoming. Warland again open on this near side. Darting inwards. Going into the challenge there was Higgins, I think, who's stayed down, and now Hodgson is fouled by Hill, and now Hill goes to ground as well. And I think a yellow card was shown to Sean Kilkelly there, possibly for the challenge on Higgins initially. Didn't look as though anything was brandished for the coming together between Hodgson and Hill. One thing that we do know, though, is that ECU have got a free kick in a pretty good position here. About 20 yards from goal. Pretty much in front. Definitely shaping up as though Danny Hodgson will take this one. Callum Timmins and Harry Evans also showing interest. Evans, of course, scored that wonderful free kick for Inglewood in the semi-final last year for Inglewood at Dorrien Gardens. He walks away, though, and this one will be left to Hodgson. Ball marched back, 4 in it. Faciony and Hill both slightly off it. It's Hodgson stepping up with a beauty and just sails wide of Driscoll's post. Really nice shape on that dead ball from Danny Hodgson. Definitely had Driscoll scrambling across his goal. Teese and Hill almost leave it for each other. Brown, little flick down the line for Witch. Riak will come across and close down. Still going is Scott Wish with determined play, but Riak was equal to the task. And now he'll try to charge away from Brown and does tremendously well. And ECU have got 3 down this near side here as they launch the counter-attack. One of them's Warland, who's gotten forward so often this afternoon it feels. Sorrento gets some numbers back. ECU still on the front foot, though, as Higgins finds Hodgson. Left-footed strike blocked. It'll come out wide to Warland still. And now Higgins looks up. Releases the fullback once more. Now Higgins clipped in. Evans wins the header. Straight up in the air. Hodgson might yet break to their top scorer, Timmins. All very tight on the edge of the area for ECU, and Teese is able to step in and close things down. Riak looks up. Attempted to switch the play. A couple of players lost it in the sun there, I think. Teese will try and get busy against Riak here. Does really well, and now releases Alex Morgan, who just checked his run there. I think Morgan thought he was possibly in an offside position, and that allowed Bodner to get back and intercept. And now a bit of an end-to-end feel about this game as Timmins marauds forward. ECU have got 5 players ahead of him here. Warland's one of them. Checked back inside to Timmins. Now Brooks wider. And Faciony with all his pace at full back, the youngster. Coming across and getting a toe in. Highly thought of left-sided player Daniel Faciony. 13 games this season. Debuted at the senior level in round 1. Noted goal scorer last season, particularly in the under-18s and 20s, but yet to get off the mark. Senior level from fullback this season as the aforementioned youngster concedes a free kick, I think for the foul on Bodner. In fact, it wasn't Bodner, it's Andy Higgins, I think. Ball whipped in, Hodgson has his head to it. And Driscoll almost lost that in the sun and lost track of the bar, and that almost dropped under the crossbar. Lucky escape there for Driscoll, who held his gloves to his mouth, possibly knowing that he got a little fortunate on that occasion. ECU starting to ramp up the pressure. Timmins will take the latest set piece. Brown with the strong header away, gets really good distance on it as well. First there is Howe. Guides it back to Riak. Now Cassidy looks up and try and pick out the pass for Evans wide right. Brooks, toe off Praja, and last touch was off Brooks. David Bruce will halt play again. No problems with Howell, who went to ground a little heavily. Nothing wrong there, though. Still goalless elsewhere as far as we're concerned, leading into half-time. So Floreat 0, Coburn 0, Gwelup 0, Armidale 0. In the upper tier of this NPL1U second phase, hooking around his head is Higgins. Evans is the highest upfield for the moment. Which steps in, Timmins possibly fouled as... In fact, it was Brown left out a leg. Final few minutes or so before the break. Cassidy looks up. Timmins. Back to his central defender. Inside for Howe. Now Bodner. Started the season at Perth Soccer Club, Luca Bodner, former Perth Glory Academy player. Signed for ECU Joondalup after the post-COVID-19 break. Hodgson. Ball just skips away from him over on that far side. As the youngsters head down beneath us, no doubt looking to have a kick on the pitch at half-time. Good to see so many young faces in the crowd here at the ECU football stadium. Good crowd in general, but that next generation of football fans is well and truly healthy up in the northern suburbs as Bodner rises for the header. The last touch was off him. Under pressure from Teese, and Sorrento will get possibly a final set piece to try and jag something before the break. They will come in from Ayan, headed away by Howe. Sorrento attackable, possibly get another crack at putting the ball in. He might need to hurry up though. Whipped in again. Morgan nearly got the flick on. Turning was Brown, and ECU have to scramble away. Ball still alive for Sorrento. Hill drives from distance. And Perkins may have had that covered, but couldn't be careful. And that might just about do us for the first half. David Bruce had a little look at his watch. He signals that there's about a minute or so to play. Long upfield from Perkins. Hodgson wins the header. Patiently forward. That'll sail through to Perkins again. Wind just picking up here as the first half has worn on. You see remaining patient on the ball. Riak. Warland turning, winning the throw-in. Hodgson. Ball had already crossed the line before the Englishman emerged with the ball. Throw-in will need to be taken. Brown hooks into touch. And that'll be the last action of the first half. ECU go into the halftime break with a lead of 1-0 over Sorrento FC at the ECU Football Stadium. The goal was provided by Andy Higgins inside the first quarter of an hour. It was Sorrento who fired off all the early shots in angst. Cameron Teese hit the base of the post with a header, but then you just felt ECU warmed into the half as it wore on. Higgins scored the vital goal, and then they created a couple of additional chances as the half wore on. And as far as the home side are concerned, they're halfway there. They're doing their bit here at the ECU Football Stadium. They'll need results to go elsewhere, but don't miss this second half. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook page. ECU 1, Sorrento 0 at the half. Testing, testing. Welcome back to the second half of this round 16 final round NPL1U men's fixture between ECU Joondalup and Sorrento FC, the Northern Derby, coming to you live from the ECU football stadium. ECU Joondalup leading by a goal to nil after 45 minutes, thanks to a goal from their long-serving left-footed player Andy Higgins. A vital goal in the grand scheme of things. Floreat 0, Coburn 0 and Guelph 0, Armidale 0 elsewhere. Means that as things stand, if the results stay as is at half-time, ECU will win their second league title and their first since 1999. Plenty at stake going into the second half. There has been one change at the break for Sorrento. That was Tristan Stevens coming on for Ryan McLaughlin in the right back position as Sorrento get us underway in the second half, kicking to the left of your stream. Hodgson backs in. Ball breaks to Hill. Now Brown looks up, Warland. Sorrento emerge with the ball through Alex Morgan, who looks up, finds Ayan. One-on-one with the pacey Ethan Brooks, but Ayan gets the better of him. He's got Fashni in support to his outside, doesn't want to use him. Instead comes back on that right foot. Little dink ball to the back post, which is waiting. Morgan will weigh up the volley, didn't quite get the connection in time. And then Witch, fouled by Warland. So Sorrento starting the second half in decent fashion as they did the first, really. Those efforts from Teese and from Alex Morgan early on. But then just as the half wore on, it was ECU that seized the advantage. The visitors have got a free kick though. Praja's ball in. Teese will win it at the back post and did well to kind of bring it down. Possession still with the goals. Here in this Northern Derby, Hodgson pinches it from Hill now. He's only really got Evans alongside him at the moment, Danny Hodgson, so he'll have to go on his own, and in the end, Faciony stuck to the task and won the ball. Higgins. Back for Howe. Switch of the play's a good one for Warland, who's got Timmins inside him. Still going here, Riley Warland. Higgins alongside him. Now Howe. Brooks in a little bit of space on this right-hand side. One-on-one with Faciony. Darting to the byline, getting the better of his opponent. Clip into the middle. It'll run through to Timmins, who just slipped as he tried to get the shot away, and behind it went for a goal kick. Dangerous start from the home team, that searing pace of Ethan Brooks. As Evans looks to race onto the ball forward. Joel Driscoll over this goal kick. Formerly with the Glory and ECU Joondalup. Joined mid-season. Also spent time in the UK trialling at Arsenal back in 2013 with his brother Liam. Ball forward for Which. Cassidy's clearance straight up in the air. Still a battle for possession over in that far corner. Last touch was off Howe there, I think, who was screening in midfield. Brown's long throw. Teese jumps with Warland. Still here for Sorrento. If they can get it back in the mixer quickly. Faciony clips in. Was drifting perilously towards that top corner, but safe hands of Perkins gather it in. 4 clean sheets for Johnny Perkins. A skipper who marshals that defence very well. Evans looks up. Howe will beat his man and strike a goal and find the bottom corner. One step closer for ECU Joondalup. They lead by 2-0 here in the baking sunshine in the northern suburbs. And now all eyes turn to E&D Leiter Stadium over at Floriat. ECU 2, Sorrento 0. Big goal for ECU Joondalup, struck by Tom Howe early in this second half. Job's not done yet though. Teese was showing a little bit of interest in that one. And you can just see a few of the fans around me pulling out their phones, looking to try and see what's happening elsewhere. Had to do their job, of course, here. Did ECU Joondalup. They're doing that so far against their rivals. Last touch there off Ayan. Higgins goes back for Bodnar. Now Riak. It's just dropped in between the two centre-backs for the time being. Sorrento looking to initiate a high press. Now Bodnar beats it, tries to beat it with a ball over the top. Evans with half a flick on, half an attempt to bring under control. It'll break for Riley Warland, who fancied his chances with an optimistic effort. Gathered pretty comfortably by Driscoll. Hodgson, down for Timmins. Returns the ball Back to the Englishman. It's Danny Hodgson curling at goal, and that's straight down the throat of Driscoll. Remembering, of course, that subplot with the Golden Boot race. Danny Hodgson, Cameron Teese, both on 15 for the season. Teese was fouled just in front of halfway for Sorrento. So as it stands, ECU 10 points, Florrie at 10 points, Coburn 7. ECU with a superior goal difference. It was 3 before kickoff, so by my workings, it's 5 now. You just hear a little hush in the crowd. Realization that this could be their day is possibly starting to sink in. Still a long way to go, though, of course, as Cassidy clears forward. Evans brings it down. Praja. Ayan. Morgan. Wide for Witch, who's got space out wide. First time cross. Heading the ball at goal was Ayan. Acrobatic attempt from Alex Morgan, and it was an illegal acrobatic attempt from Morgan. His boot was deemed high, and ECU will find some relief, and free kicks taken quickly to Brooks, who's got plenty of space to skip into here. He'll go one-on-one with Fashni again. Evans and Hodgson in the middle. Brooks' cross. Hodgson's header! Goal number 16 for Danny Hodgson! He takes the lead in the Golden Boot race, and ECU are 3 to the good here. And it really is all eyes on Athena now. ECU 3, Sorrento 0. Another beautifully constructed goal from ECU. Ethan Brooks did the hard work down the right. Hodgson was waiting on the 6-yard box. Stooping low, heading down. Always hard for the keeper to read those, and 3 to the good they are now. And playing with a lot of confidence as Wallen clips in. Heavens with the header. And Fashni did well to stand him up for the time being. Evans tries to dig out across again. Hill will scramble away on that left foot, but it's going to come straight back here through Bodnar. It's good toe in from Ayan. Teese will try and hook around the corner, and Riak was in a little late on Sorrento's top scorer, and he'll join Teese in the book. Yellow card count even at 1 apiece now. It's the goals that matter this afternoon, though. ECU have 3 of them. Andy Higgins, Tom Howe, and Danny Hodgson. Fashni looks up. Ayan's ball ahead. Fashni's cross was into the boot of a retreating Higgins there, I think. And we'll have a goals corner. Sorrento side, whose hopes of a top 4 finish are all but extinguished now, you'd think. Teese was jumping at the back post. Hodgson will get to the break first, and now Warland is looking to counter upfield. He's got no support ahead of him as of yet. Timmins is arriving now in support to his left. Warland is still going. Does well to hold the ball up. Now the switch of the play will find Brooks. Pass ahead of him was a little casual for the run of Evans, and Ayan will scramble clear. Now, did Praja stay on side here? He did. And in any case, it was a foul against Howe, who was retreating back in midfield cover. Riak. Forward for Hodgson. Now Higgins. The man who got the ball rolling this afternoon. Bodner looks up. Higgins with an inventive little back heel around the corner. Didn't quite come off. And now Stevens will try and clear ahead of him. David Bruce Holt's play here. A little coming together between Teese and Brooks. Nothing in it just yet anyway. Players do separate. Teese has already been booked, remember. Brooks is still fired up here and had to be held back by Perkins momentarily. Skipper's also called over here. Elsewhere around the grounds, as far as we know, still Floreat 0, Coburn 0. They did finish the half a little bit later than us over at ED Lighter Stadium. Nothing more than a talking to from David Bruce. ECU 3, Sorrento 0, Floreat 0, Coburn 0, Guelph 0, Armidale 0. As things stand, news possibly of a red card at Floreat as well to Athena, but we'll bring you confirmation of that once we have it officially. Praja turns back. Stevens. Youngster who came on at half-time, Tristan Stevens. Higgins looks up. Timmins. Nice pass for Brooks, who's one-on-one with Faishni. Again, good battle between those two all afternoon on the right-hand side of the pitch. Now Higgins is under pressure from Ayan. Howe is now in support. Looks up. Higgins. Inside. Timmins. Brooks still outside of him. Timmins held the ball. Nice patient football from ECU here. Brooks will now put the cross in. Awkward bounce for Kilkelly to deal with. I think that's a throw-in, it is. Higgins hooks in. Stevens clears. Confirmation that Floreat are down to 10 men. Phil Arnold with a second yellow card over at ED Lighter Stadium. So Floreat goalless, down to 10. ECU 3 up here at the ECU Football Stadium. As Howe releases Hodgson, he went a little early though. Disputed the call of Jess Bird, but did look right from here. Driscoll's clearing ball, held up in the breeze, last touch off Brown. Founded in 1992, where ECU Joondalup as Joondalup City Soccer Club. Played at Quins and the Arena Joondalup, relatively nearby. 23 consecutive seasons in the top tier of WA semi-professional football. An incredible production line of talent coming through the system here over the years. Chris Hurd, Shane Lowry, Brandon O'Neill, Adam Taggart, Ryan and Reese Williams, just to name a few. Last title was 1999. Last silverware was a State Cup triumph in 2002. As both teams turn to the bench here, Daniel Faishney off, and Jackson Tomasa will come on for Sorrento. Tomasa, several senior appearances this season. High thought of youngster who's mixed time between the reserves. A change for ECU Joondalup as well, with Bailey Brown Montgomery coming on as well in place of Harry Evans, I think. Confirmation that it was Evans. As Tomata and Hodgson go into the challenge together. Bailey Brown Montgomery, of course, caught the eyes of a youngster when he broke into the ECU first team in 2015-2016. Had trials in England as well before returning and playing with the Perth Glory Academy. Son of former ECU and Sorrento NPL and State League player Stuart Montgomery. Yet to get off the mark this season, though, is Brown Montgomery. He's got around half an hour or so to make an impact here. As Higgins and Tomata go into the challenge. Alex Morgan spins away. Wish. Outside of him was Brown, ignores him. Comes instead to this near side, but the pass was wayward. Beats Teese out of play. ECU Joondalup 3, Sorrento 0 then. Live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook page this afternoon. Tommy Dolman live on commentary with you this afternoon. Sean Fry around the grounds at Floria Athena and Coburn City, which, as we last heard, was goalless with the home side down to 10 men and needing to win if they are to overtake ECU, given the 6-goal better goal difference that the Northerners have. Clipped out wide by Riak. Warland into the feet of Timmins. Tried to help on for Brown Montgomery. Hodgson nearly pinches off the heels of Hill and then goes in to put the pressure on Driscoll. Praja, Sorrento's check midfielder, runs forward. Hill wanted to get back onto his right foot, ended up turning over possession. Now Higgins with a lovely piece of skill, links up with Riak, and now ECU will try and play through the thirds again as he picks out Hodgson. Hodgson drives towards goal. It may yet for Brown Montgomery, who got the shot on goal, but Tomasa was across in cover. Some of the football that ECU have played has been tremendous at times, this afternoon. News through of a goal at ED Lighter Stadium. The goal has gone the way of Floriat, who are 1-0 up with 10 men against Coburn. We'll confirm that shortly when I get it through officially. But on the feed we're watching here, Floriat a goal up with 25 minutes to play over there, and we did get underway a fraction earlier than they did here in the northern suburbs. So unfortunately for ECU, it's out of their hands. I've just got to hope that a goal goes their way elsewhere as Sorrento turns the bench. For the second time this afternoon, it'll be Amir Ayan who comes off, and Zdenek Bezdek who enters the field, Czech midfielder. News just filtering through around us that Floriat have scored at ED Lighter Stadium. A little hush in the crowd. There was that sort of sense of cautious optimism a little earlier. As ECU win a free kick. Taken quickly by Higgins, out to Brooks. Cross in the middle was low. May yet break. Back to Higgins again, who'll want that left foot curling strike. Didn't quite get the required whip. As it stands, Floriat 12 points. ECU Joondalup 10 points. That's how the title race is shaping up. Coburn out of the equation with that result at ED Lighter Stadium for the time being. They'll be, of course, wanting to ensure they get something from the game as well, given that Joondalup are in action against Armidale and top 4 places up for grabs, so by no means is that one over yet. Plenty still for Coburn to play for with the extra player. As Morgan pinches off Howe, drives at goal, didn't catch it well at all. Perkins can gather pretty comfortably. Brooks brings it down beautifully. Inside for Higgins. A little clipped pass through was nearly absolutely perfect for Brown Montgomery. Which, wide for Brown. Cross is very deep. May yet break to Teese. Headed away though by Higgins, I think, who was back defending. And now Brooks will carry the ball away. Higgins with a switch of the play. Header won by Brown, which will hair after this one. Cassidy tried to shield it out of play, which conceded the foul. And confirmation that Floriat's goal came from Dean Evans. Screamer by all accounts. Elsewhere, Joondalup 2, Armidale 0. So Coburn now need a result themselves if they are to make the top 4 cup. And ECU need Floriat to concede as well. Sorrento come forward. Teese tries to get the better of Bodner, doesn't do so. Great season from Cameron Teese as well. He's really found a suitable home at Sorrento this season. 15 goals this season, 12 in the first phase of the competition. after spells with ECU and Perth and Balcatta as well. A lot of faith shown in him by Jamie Harnwell, who no doubt taught him a couple of tricks, having made a few late cameos up front later in his Perth glory days. Bodner. Ball ricocheted back to him nicely. Now Brown Montgomery looks up. Higgins. Nice little pass for Hodgson, whose touch was off for a rare occasion, and now Morgan sliding in. Free kick conceded. Quickly taken though by ECU, who've looked to do that all afternoon. Get the ball moving quickly. Kilkelly steps in, prevents Brooks from getting to the ball. The youngster does really well to charge that one down though, and now Brooks will try to dance his way into the area. Breaks for Higgins. Timmins cleared away. Riak and Witch in a race to get there first. Looked as though Riak may have stood on Witch's foot, but there was no foul. Now Brooks again will look to get the better of Tomasa, but the youngster does really well to stand him up and cut that one out. Morgan looks up. Witch was a willing runner, but Bodner had that one under control. And you just sense that sort of air of anticipation here now. The crowd are waiting for something to happen elsewhere. This game looks just about done as Warland tries his luck from range. Stevens was in the way. Now looks up, raking pass. Cassidy is in position A to deal with that though. Now Riak spreading the play for Brooks. Just the one goal this season Ethan Brooks scored against Rockingham. A little bit surprising given the space and the good work he's done down this right-hand side this afternoon. Warland. Howe. Higgins strikes. Bounced comfortably in front of Driscoll. Hodgson came back from an offside position there. ECU Joondalup 3, Sorrento FC 0. Northern Derby live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages. Looks as though the home side are going to get the bragging rights this afternoon, but there's bigger fish to fry in the context of the season. Still needing results elsewhere to go their way. As it stands elsewhere, it's Guelph 2, Armidale 0. And still 10-man Florrie at 1, Coburn City 0 as player goes into the book for ECU Joondalup. I think it was Callum Timmins. Don't quote me on that one though. Free kick taken. Header was from Timmins. Stevens. Headers bobbling around. Now Warland releases forward for Hodgson, who looks up. He's got two ahead of him, but that was good defending by Praja there, shoulder to shoulder. Check midfielder, who now floats in the left-footed cross. It was looking for Witch or Teese. And now ECU look to threaten on the counter again. And some of the football they've played this season has been outstanding today, and even if things don't pan out their way elsewhere, they're definitely going to be a threat in the postseason over the coming week. As it stands, it'll be Floreat, ECU and Joondalup as the top three out of this upper tier. Perth Soccer Club also winning 2-0 at the Glory, so they'll go in as the fourth place team into the midweek semi-finals as Bodner steps in and releases Brown Montgomery. Now Brown Montgomery can race into the penalty area, cheeky chip, and Stevens with a good clearance, still there for ECU. And in the end, it was Hill who was back on the last line, preventing Hodgson from completing a brace for the afternoon. And then, as Bodner was tracking back, there was a cynical foul of sorts on Tamata to try and prevent the counter-attack. And Tamata's still down here. Tamata back to his feet now. Looks a little winded. Looks in a little bit of discomfort, actually. Coming off here, struggling to stand up properly. Sorrento physio trying to get him off the pitch as quickly as possible. Looks as though he's holding his hip. So Tamata has departed the field. Sorrento will make a third change here. I'm not 100% sure who it is that's come on, as I didn't have a number 35 in my match guide. Referee David Bruce wants to make sure that Jackson Tamata is off the pitch properly before play remains. Eye still on events at Floreat, 13 minutes to play there. Remembering we're a little bit ahead of them in our game. Hill looks up. Teese. Looks to skip inside, but he's offside. Change was also made by ECU, while Jackson Tamata was coming off, with Luke Rhodes entering the fray. And Ethan Brooks making way. Brown Montgomery tries to put the cross in. Kilkelly launches upfield. ECU Joondalup 3, Sorrento FC 0, live on the Football West YouTube channel and Facebook pages this afternoon. Sun starting to set. Gorgeous late afternoon here in the Joondalup twilight. Hope not lost just yet anyway. With Coburn still fighting to save their season elsewhere. Higgins looks to poke through for Hodgson. Warland still going now. David Bruce blows the whistle and brings back the free kick. ECU been so quick to get on the front foot this afternoon. A number of quickly taking free kicks. That was the cross from Luke Rhodes. Rhodes, 7 squad appearances so far this season. Largely played in the reserves, but as always here at ECU Joondalup, youngsters always get plenty of senior minutes to strut their stuff and develop up the food chain, as they have done on numerous occasions over the years. Timmins looks to link up with Hodgson, whose 16th goal of the season early in the half. Looks to put him on track for the Golden Boot Award. Joined this season from Joondalup, Croatia, did Danny Hodgson, having scored 13 goals in Joondalup's promotion campaign in 2019. It's been absolutely red hot in the back end of this season. 2 hat-tricks in the second phase of this campaign, of course. And here he is again. And Kilkelly had to leap high, get ahead to it. Corner for ECU. Whipped into the near post. Praja clears away. Big news at EZ Lighter Stadium. Coburn have equalised with 10 minutes to play against 10-man Floriat. And this 3-0 lead for ECU Joondalup is suddenly looking better than it did 5 minutes or so ago. Roar goes up. Of sorts around us, still that cautious optimism though, given that things are still out of their hands for the time being. Brown looks to dart past Warland. Wants to turn back onto that left foot. Timmins. Howe. Now Higgins. Scorer of that first goal, that beautifully taken left-footed strike. Wouldn't it be just magical, written in the storybooks almost? Andy Higgins scoring a crucial goal on a day like this, being such a great servant to the club. As Hodgson, a player who's impressed this season, into the area. Here's Higgins, and just leant back on that fractionally. David Bruce points to the bench. There's going to be some more changes here as we approach the final few minutes or so. No time for the changes to be made just yet. Our home dugout was a little slow in getting those sorted out, and David Bruce orders Joel Driscoll to take the goal kick as Hodgson switches the play. Here's Rhodes, looks up, covering, defending there though. And now the changes are ready to be made. So, last we heard, Floriat 1, Coburn 1. Floriat down to 10 men, of course, after Phil Arnold's second yellow card. And in the other game in the upper tier, Joondalup 2. Armidale 0 last we heard. Elsewhere in significance to the top 4 cup race, Perth Glory 0, Perth Soccer Club 2. So, looks as though the Azuri will be taking their place in the top 4 cup and looking to go for a three-peat in that competition. That's all academic at the moment in the context of the league. As we see Coburn pressing on another screen around us, trying to save their season as well, as Brown Montgomery wants to pick out Hodgson. Higgins wants that very cultured left foot. One of the great football cliches is the cultured left foot. Rhodes with the cross. Hodgson leaping and down into the midriff of Driscoll it goes. Riak inside for Bodnar. Ben Hinshelwood was the player that came on when those substitutions were made over on the far side a minute or two ago. ECU just playing themselves into trouble a little bit, but everything works out pretty well. As Cassidy goes forward, looks for either Hodgson, who left it for Hinshelwood in the end. Higgins, Bodnar, Warland, time ticking down. Hinshelwood again, now Higgins. Pass didn't quite reach Brown Montgomery first time around. Now Brown Montgomery skips away, drives at goal, beaten away by Driscoll. May yet fall for Hodgson, who stands up his man, and Stevens did a good job to get a toe in, sniffing out that 17th goal of the season, which would surely guarantee the NPL1U's golden boot. May yet still get another chance. Brown Montgomery, Hodgson. Wanted that right foot, and on that occasion was a little bit predictable. Touch from Bodnar, just ran away slightly there for Luke Davis. Took it around the corner here for Teese, who's offside. Wouldn't have counted even if it did. Ripple the back of the net. I can tell you that in the stands and down beneath us, the phones are out. People are also on the phone, trying to find out what's going on elsewhere. We've got a small screen in front of us. We don't know how live that one is, though. We won't be able to put our full attention to it until matters here are done. In a sense, the result of this match is no longer in doubt. ECU leading by 3-0. A really good day for the home side. They look set to record back-to-back wins. And inch their way that little bit closer. As I said before, though, still that cautious humming of optimism around the ECU football stadium as Teese goes to ground under the challenge from Bodnar. Incidental contact, really, and that'll be a free kick now. I can guarantee you that there's only one man who'll be hitting this, and that'll be Cameron Teese, player who has fallen behind in the Golden Boot race to Danny Hodgson this afternoon, but a share of that personal accolade may still be up for grabs. It's Teese's free kick, and Perkins gets down well to save. Power wasn't quite generated sufficiently. Brown Montgomery into the area, striking straight at Driscoll. Brown Montgomery again. Where will this break? Driscoll scrambling, Hodgson arriving. Nearly a fourth for ECU. Remarkable goalmouth scramble still here for them. Rhodes' ball in, driven low. It'll come back for the youngster, who's in the corner and just lost his footing. And the ball drifts out for the goal kick. Looking at the screen in front of us. Still Florrie at 1. Coburn 1. We are a little bit further ahead than events at E&D Leiter Stadium. As time ticks down, Warland forward, Hodgson driving at goal. Hinshelwood ahead of him. Hodgson will drive. Deflected. In fact, it was a handball in there. And David Bruce points to the penalty spot. And this will gift Danny Hodgson the opportunity from the penalty spot to add a fourth and rubber stamp the result. So penalty for ECU, leading by 3-0. The ECU football stadium. Danny Hodgson. ECU are off the bench. I think there's a goal elsewhere. Hodgson will step up and score. And ECU might just be rolling into celebration time now. A fourth at the ECU football stadium. Hodgson's 18th of the season. And confirmation at E&D Leiter Stadium that Coburn have scored a late winner. ECU 4, Sorrento FC 0. A dramatic final day in the NPL WA. And the Northerners inch that little bit closer. We could see off the bench the players jumping off. News had obviously come across to them just as Hodgson was stepping up to take the penalty. Confirmation it is 2-1 to Coburn. And David Bruce blows the full-time whistle. ECU players go to each other to celebrate. It's not rubber stamped just yet at E&D Leiter Stadium. But it will be very shortly, you think. Florian need 2 goals late on to come back here. It looks unlikely. And ECU are already running on the field and celebrating. ECU players now going over to shake hands with the Sorrento opposition, who's actually started this game pretty well. Cameron Teese hit the post early on, but from then on really it was ECU. They controlled the game, they had the better of it. Apologies for the brief silence at the moment. You are watching some really excitable scenes on your screen. We are still waiting for events at E&D Leiter Stadium to unfold and be confirmed. But as it stands, Florian 1, Coburn 2, ECU Joondalup 4, Sorrento FC 0, and ECU Joondalup are going to be champions. In a matter of minutes, you'd think they come off to a round of applause from the home fans.